Guys, I'm mustering up everything in my body to make this video. So let's do it. The Tonys happened, ain't that neat? And I'm here to talk about the awards, the snubs, the nominations, who I thought should have won, who actually did win, and of course the performances. So let's get into it. Full disclosure, I did not catch the first 20 minutes or so of the ceremony, but I only missed the opening dance number and New York, New York's performance. And truthfully, I could give a shit less about New York, New York. So, whatever. Before we jump into this, I want to say I will not be talking about plays or revivals, but I want to talk about two plays, original plays or play revivals. But I want to talk about three plays that I think either didn't get enough, got way too much, or got just the right amount. Peter Pan Goes Wrong literally didn't get nominated once. That was probably the best play on the bill this year. Life is Pi, I think it got just the right amount of awards, although I would have wished that the awards would have been televised, that Life of Pi did get. And finally, Top Dog Underdog. Maybe could have gotten a couple more, but Best Play Revival, I mean, pretty good. And a quick thing for Leopoldstadt, got 4 wins, I believe. Good for it. I'm proud of it. Anyways, there were 6 musical revivals that were eligible this year, and there were 9 original musicals, I believe. 9. The original musicals include Anne Juliet, Almost Famous, Bad Cinderella, A Beautiful Noise, Kimberly Akimbo, K-Pop, New York, New York, Shucked, and Some Like It Hot. The musical revivals include 1776, Camelot, Bob Fosse's Dancing, Into the Woods, Parade, and Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. So, what does this all mean? Nothing really, but it is worth noting that A Beautiful Noise and Bad Cinderella did not get nominated once the entire evening. Same thing with Dancing in 1776. So, let's just jump right in, shall we? The biggest category was Best Musical, and this had 5 nominees. Kimberly Akimbo, Anne Juliet, New York, New York, Shucked, and Some Like It Hot. Now, personally, my 2 favorite musicals of this season, actually my 4 favorite musicals of this season, were in this category. Some Like It Hot, Shucked, Anne Juliet, and Kimberly Akimbo. And, I mean, I truthfully would have been cool with any of those winning, so long as New York, New York didn't fucking touch it, and it didn't. I would have preferred Some Like It Hot, that's my favorite musical of this season, or Shucked, that one's great. But Kimberly Akimbo took it, and I can't complain. Jeanine Tesori is great, the play is great, the book is great, the orchestrations are amazing, and the actors and actresses are incredible. Ali Mozzie, Victoria Clark, Stephen Boyer, Justin Cooley, all amazing at what they do. Bonnie Milligan, I should mention her too. But yeah, I'm happy for it. If I were to put another musical into this category, I probably would have thrown A Beautiful Noise. I probably would have. But, I mean, honestly, I'm not mad about what did get nominated, so I just won't complain. For Best Revival of Musical, there were only 4. Usually there's 5, but there were only 6 revivals this year, so 4. We had Camelot, Into the Woods, Sweeney Todd, and Parade. Now, I was hoping that Parade won, but I was entirely sure Sweeney Todd was taking it. But no, to my surprise and excitement, Parade took it, and I'm really happy about that. Would I trade any of these revivals out for 1776 or Dancing? Fuck no. Those sucked. Anyways, Best Performance by a Leading Actor in a Musical. I want to say there were 6 nominees. I think only 3 of them were really in consideration for anyone. And unfortunately, the 3 that weren't were Christian Borle, Brian Darcy James, and Colton Ryan. 3 of my favorite actors on this list. But their roles in their respective musicals, while not bad, Brian Darcy James was the baker in Into the Woods, and no one gave a fuck about Into the Woods at this point. Colton Ryan was Jimmy Doyle in New York, New York, and no one really cared about New York, New York. And Christian Borle was Joe/Josephine in Some Like It Hot, and people love Some Like It Hot, but Christian Borle's co-star, J. Harrison Ghee, was also nominated, and people like his role more. And rightfully so. It's a better role. And not to say J. Harrison Ghee is acting better, but he just got a better role to act with. Which left only 3. J. Harrison Ghee as Jerry/Daphne in Some Like It Hot, Josh Groban as Sweeney Todd in Sweeney Todd, and Ben Platt as Leo Frank in Parade. Now, out of these, I was pretty sure it was either going to go to Josh Groban for the legacy pick, or J. Harrison Ghee to show, like, inclusivity or whatever the fuck. And also, he was great. They were great. Sorry. They were great. And what do you know? J. Harrison Ghee took it. As they fucking should have. This was one of the only big awards Some Like It Hot took home. And rightfully so. I mean, while I love some of the other actors and actresses in the show, and I love the show itself, I understand putting other things above it. For example, for Best Featured Actor in a Musical, you have Kevin Cahoon as Peanut from Shucked, Justin Cooley as Seth Wheatus from Kimberly Akimbo, Kevin Dallagula as Osgood Fielding III in Some Like It Hot, Jordan Donica as Sir Lancelot in Camelot, and Alex Newell as Lulu in Shucked. And Alex Newell took it. Rightfully so. I think they were one of the best actors here. Granted, this was a stacked category, and so long as anyone other than Jordan Donica won, I would have been all-right with this. Like, this was a great category, and I get picking really anyone. So, yeah, that's just where I'm at. Personally, I would have chose one of the Kevins, Cahoon, or Agula, or maybe Justin Cooley, but Alex Newell is great and totally deserves the honor. Next, we have Best Performance by a Leading Actress in a Musical. We have Annalee Ashford as Miss Lovett from Sweeney Todd, Sarah Bareilles as the baker's wife from Into the Woods, Lorna Corton as Juliet in & Juliet, and Michaela Diamond as Lucille Frank from Parade, and Victoria Clark as Kimberly Lovaco from Kimberly Akimbo. And of course Victoria took it, rightfully so. Look, you can make the case that Lorna Courtney or Michaela Diamond or even Sarah Bareilles or even Ashford could have taken it, but like it was gonna be Clark. Victoria Clark is playing an extremely hard role, both acting-wise and singing-wise. And also, she's also the oldest here, so she's probably not getting another chance at a Tony anytime soon. Which is unfortunate, but, you know, that's just kind of how it works. And so it doesn't shock me that they gave it to her, and rightfully so. The only other person I would personally put above her was Michaela Diamond. Lorna Courtney is great, but I don't think she's better than both Michaela Diamond and Victoria Clark. So, that's just where I'm at. And then, Best Performance by a Featured Actress in a Musical, we had Julia Lester as Little Red Riding Hood from Into the Woods, Ruthie Ann Miles as the Bigger Woman from Sweeney Todd, Natasha Yvette Williams as Sweet Sue from Some Like It Hot, Betsy Wolfe as Anne Hathaway from & Juliet, and Bonnie Milligan as Aunt Deborah in Kimberly Akimbo. And of course, Bonnie Milligan took it, rightfully so. She was the best one here. While I would have loved a Natasha Yvette Williams win, I sort of understood Bonnie was taking this. She can sing better than anyone in this category, or anyone in any of the other categories for that matter. She was amazing, and totally deserves this award. Now, I want to real quick mention a couple of snubs from each of these categories that I personally had. Best Featured Actor, Gavin Creel as the Wolf. He was amazing. He was the best part of that show, and totally deserved a nomination, but, you know, whatever. Best Actor, Will Swenson as Neil Diamond from A Beautiful Noise. That was an amazing role, and he plays it perfectly. He just didn't get a nod for some reason. I'm not sure why, but alas, he didn't, which is sad. Another Best Featured Actor, I really like Stark Sands from & Juliet. I get why he wasn't nominated, but I would have loved to see him be nominated. Same thing with fucking Stephen Boyer from Kimberly Akimbo. I get that they nominated Justin Cooley instead, but like you could have nominated both. Stephen Boyer's amazing. And Best Performance as a Featured Actress, Ali Mazzi from Kimberly Akimbo. She was incredible. I love her. And she just didn't get a nod for some goddamn reason. I don't understand why, but she didn't. And there's really only one leading actress that I saw a problem that they didn't pick, and it's Lindy Janeo, I believe is how you say it, as Cinderella from Bad Cinderella. Like, I get that they're not going to pick Bad Cinderella, because Bad Cinderella was panned, but she was great. Cinderella's not an easy role, especially the way Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote it. And she did great. But whatever, we're here now. Best direction of a musical. We have Michael Arden for Parade, Lear de Bassinet from Into the Woods, Casey Nicolai Law for Some Like It Hot, Jack O'Brien for Shucked, and Jessica Stone for Kimberly Akimbo. And of course Parade won this because Parade was fucking amazing. Michael Arden gave one of the best speeches in recent Tony memory, and totally deserved to win. And the final two I want to cover are Best Book and Best Original Score. For Best Book, you have the Best Musical nominees, and of course Kimberly Akimbo took it. As it should. It's a great book. Highly recommend reading it. Highly recommend seeing the show and just listening to it, but whatever. Best Original Score is the one I want to mention, because Almost Famous K-pop were nominated instead of New York, New York, and Anne Juliet. And I get not nominating Anne Juliet because that is a jukebox musical, so it's hard to, But New York, New York was supposedly like the Tonys' darling for this year, and it didn't get nominated for Best Original Score over two shows that didn't even get nominated again for anything notable. Rightfully so, they weren't very good shows, but whatever. Kimberly Akimbo was also nominated, Shucked was nominated, and Some Like It Hot was nominated. Of course, Kimberly took it. Jan Tesori is great, and totally deserved it, so good for them. That's my wrap. I will say the performances were ranged from meh to good to great, and there are only really 3 performances I think you should look up and watch for yourself. 4, if you haven't seen This Is Not Over Yet a million times already. They of course did that, and rightfully so. I mean, it's great, but whatever. I recommend watching The Ballad of Sweeney Todd. That was the perfect thing for Sweeney Todd to do, and they did it. I highly recommend watching Shuck's performance, which was a medley of some of the songs from the show. It was great. And I highly, highly, highly recommend watching Roar from Anne Juliet. Lorna Courtney was a little nervous, so it was a little shaky, but it was great nonetheless, and I highly recommend those 3. Everything else was pretty mediocre. The only one I highly recommend never watching again is Camelot's. Look, I fucking hate Camelot, okay? But that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and tell me what you think down in the comments below. Have a good one.